Ugandan leader Museveni says he supports extending the presidential term to 7 years from 5, but critics are of the view that such a move would enable him and many others like him to rule for life. A statement from the presidency quotes Museveni as saying, "Leaders in Africa have much more to do and need adequate time between elections to develop the continent because they would not be distracted by politics," insisting that 5 years is just a joke. Museveni fought his way to power in 1986 and has won a series of elections, the most recent of which was in 2016. His opponents say the government uses repression to stay in power and rig elections. The rapid fall of Zimbabwe's leader Robert Mugabe last month, after 37 years in power, has highlighted the potential vulnerability of the small group of African leaders who have ruled for decades. Ejetel Tuoniyo, legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, joins us now on the program to talk more about this. Welcome to the program.
My pleasure to be here.
So Ugandan leader Yoweri Museveni says that he supports extending the president's term from 5 to 7. But of course, the critics are not happy about this. So who do you align with?
Well, obviously, he's just trying to fly a kite that he has flown for the past 31 years that he's been in government. And clearly, the statement that he made is most unfortunate because whether you like it or not, African leaders who have practiced Titism have developed a mindset. And the mindset is that the republics that we have in Africa, in their mind's eye, are not republics as such. They are kingdoms where they must preside over until death comes. And what he's just saying simply is that, well, he's not tired of ruling over a people, oppressing them, and staying in government. It doesn't matter whether the economy has tried to improve at one particular time, but is he the only one that has ideas? Is he the only one that is capable of ruling that country, that very beautiful country, for over 3 decades? It's most unfortunate. And I think it should be condemned by all lovers of democracy. Luckily, we are having some of them go out of the scene. And we pray that not long from now, Yoweri Museveni should be able to take a bow.
But he's argued that extending the time between elections will give them more opportunity to develop or to promote development because they wouldn't be distracted by politics.
We have an example. I want to draw an example in Lagos. For example, someone took power just about a little over 2 years ago, and he's done quite a lot. 5 years in the life of any nation in terms of development, it's enough time for you to make an impact. What they are trying to do is to hide under the cloak that they are not prepared to leave governance. They have turned African republics to kingdoms. That's what they have done.
But why is it difficult for them to leave power?
Perhaps it is in the black race. I don't get it. Maybe because they also envy the kings that sit over domains, and they want to be kings over republics. It's incongruous. It doesn't work.
But do you see what happened in Zimbabwe happening here, where former President Robert Mugabe had to resign eventually after 37 years?
He was forced out. It was a pseudo coup that was carried out in Zimbabwe that made Robert Mugabe to bow. When he saw that there was no option, he had to leave. Otherwise, he was not prepared to go. He had become 93 years old. He had been in government for as long as. So it's unfortunate. We have another example in our neighboring country there, Cameroon. And so on. Foray Yadema is still sitting over his people, repressing them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's in the black gene.
but what do you think can be done this time around to, turn things around?
Well, 2005, the man changed the constitution to remove the limitation for the number of terms that he could run. And so that has been working out for him. So clearly, if there is no limitation, he may as well be the president of Uganda until God calls him home. So There is nothing that will be done except, of course, the international community, the AU, and the regional bodies will continue to insist that democracy be allowed to flourish. Because democracy is not flourishing. Where someone sees himself as the only one that can preside over a nation, that's not democracy. That's autocracy.
But do you think that other African leaders have learned from Robert Mugabe's experience?
Well, to tell you the truth, I do not think that African leaders will learn anything. They will rather wait for their comeuppance, for it to happen to them before they know that it's time for them to get out.
Say Jetta Otuoni, your legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. Thanks for coming on Network Africa.
It's a pleasure to be here all the time.